Alright, so now I want to give you a little bit of practice with some of the rest of your homework. One of it's on finding distance. And so your homework is dealing with page 9, numbers 27 through 38. You don't have to do them all. I'm actually going to do numbers 34 and number 35, so that way you get a few distance problems seen in front of you here. So I'm not going to go over how the distance formulas relate to the Pythagorean theorem. I did that in another video. So if you're really struggling with distance formula, I'd go back and watch that video first. I'm not going to pretend like you have it memorized. I'm just going to go back to the fact that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the distance I'm trying to find, and a is one side of that triangle, b is the other side of that triangle. So in that other video, how we found a was to subtract our x values. So I'm going to say this value minus this one. 3 minus 1 is 2. So I've got 2 squared. The b value is by subtracting your y values. So negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And then we got to square it. Negative 5 squared is positive 25. 2 squared is 4. And so you end up with 29 equals c squared, or the square root of 29 is equal to c. They don't give us units here, so we just say 20 square root of 29 units will be a sufficient answer. Now number 35 is a little more tricky just because we have fractions in there. Students for some reason hate fractions. So it's going to be the same thing. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a is your difference in your x's, and it really doesn't matter if you call it difference in x's, difference in y's. I'm just trying to be consistent. So I'm going to say 2 minus 1/2, and we're going to square that. Plus, for b, you got negative 1 minus 4/3. And we're going to square that. That all equals c squared. So 2, I want to turn it into halves, so that way I can subtract them easily. So that's the same thing as 4 over 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so 4 halves minus 1/2 squared. 1 I want to turn into thirds, or negative 1, so it's going to be negative 3/3. Notice negative 3 divided by 3 gives me negative 1. So 4 halves minus 1/2 is 3 halves. That's all still being squared. And then negative 3 over 3 minus 4 over 3. Well, negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. That's all being squared. And that equals c squared. So 3 over 2 squared is 9 over 4. Negative 7 over 3 squared is negative 49 over 9. So you end up with 9/4 minus 49 ninths equals c squared. I'm going to continue over here on the left because I'm running out of room. So I want the least common denominator between 4 and 9. And so looking at this, it looks like it's going to be 36. What did I multiply 4 by to get 36? I multiplied it by 9. So I multiply the top here by 9, I get 81. And then what do you multiply? Whoops, that should be a positive. See, I make mistakes too. What do you multiply 9 by to get, multiply 9 by to get 36? That's going to be 4. So I need to do 4 times 49. And so let's punch that one in. It's here, 160 plus 36. So it looks like 196, I believe. Or I guess you could say 4 times 50 is 200. 4 times 1 is 4, and subtracted, yeah, you get 196. So adding these up, 81 plus 196 gives me 277. Yeah, 277. I have to go back and check this because I'm doing it in my head. 277 over 36. All of this equals c squared. Square root both sides. So you end up with the square root of 277 over 36 equals c. Well, 277 is not a perfect square, so I'm just going to leave it like square root of 277. But the square root of 36 is. Square root of 36 is 6. So our final answer here is the distance between these 2 points is the square root of 277 divided by 6.